Hare Krishna, welcome to all devotees. Now we start today's Bhagavatam class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Nachaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiret Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shoke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. Today we start new chapter, chapter 8, prayers by Queen Kunti and Parikshit saved. Shloka number 1 to 4. Sutta Uvacha.
उवाच
अथ ते संपरेतानाम्
अथ ते संपरेतानां
स्वानाम् उदकम् इच्छिताम्
स्वानाम् उदकम्
इच्छिताम् दातुं कृष्ण गंगायाम्
दातुं सकृष्ण गंगायां
पुरस्कृत्य ययुः श्रियः
पुरस्कृत्य ययुः स्त्रियः
ते निनीय उदकम् सर्वे
ते निनियोदकं सर्वे
विलप्य च भृशं पुनः
विलप्य च भृशं पुनः
आप्लुता हरिपादाब्जरजः
आप्लुता हरिपादाब्ज रजः
पूत सरित जले
पूतसरित जले
तत्र आसीनं कुरुपतिम्
तत्र आसीनं कुरुपतिं
धृतराष्ट्रं सह अनुजम्
धृतराष्ट्रं सह अनुजम्
गान्धारीं पुत्रशोक आर्तां
गांधारी पुत्र शोकार्तां
पृथां कृष्णां च माधवः
वृथां कृष्णां च माधवः
सान्त्वयाम् आस मुनिभिः
सान्त्वयाम् आस मुनिभिः
तत बन्धून् शुचार्पितान्
तत बन्धून् शुचार्पिताम्
हतबन्धु शुचार्पितान्
हतबन्धु शुचार्पितान्
भूतेषु कालस्य गतिं
भूतेषु कालस्य गतिं
दर्शयन् प्रतिक्रियां
दर्शयन् प्रतिक्रियाम्
सूतः उवाच
सूतः उवाच
अथ ते सम्परेतानाम्
अथ ते सम्परेतानां
स्वानाम् उदकम् इच्छताम्
स्वानाम् उदकम् इच्छताम्
दातुं सकृष्णाः गंगायां
दातुं सकृष्ण गंगायां
पुरस्कृत्य ययुः श्रियः
पुरस्कृत्य ययुः स्त्रियः
ते निनीय उदकवे
ते निनियोदकं सर्वे
च भ्रूतं पुनः
विलप्य च भृशं पुनः
आप्लुता हरिपादाब्ज
आप्लुता हरिपादाब्ज रजः पुत्सरित जले
तत्र आसीनं कुरुपतिम्
तत्र आसीनं कुरुपतिम्
राष्ट्रं सह
धृतराष्ट्रं सह अनुजम्
गान्धीं पुत्रशोक अर्तां
गान्धारीं पुत्रशोकार्तां पृथां कृष्णां च माधवः
सान्त्वयाम आमुनिभिः
सान्त्वयाम् आस मुनिभिः
ततबन्धुन् शुचार्पितान्
हतबन्धून् शुचार्पितान्
भूतेषु कालस्य गतिं
भूतेषु कालस्य गतिं
दर्शयन्न प्रतिक्रियाम्
दर्शयन्न प्रतिक्रियां सूत उवाच अथ ते सम्परेतानां स्वानाम् उदकम् इच्छतां दातुं सकृष्ण गंगायां पुरस्कृत्य युस्त्रियः ते निनियोदकं सर्वे विलप्य च वृषं पुनः आप्लुता हरिपादाब्जरजः पूतसरित जले तत्रासीनं कुरुपतिं धृतराष्ट्रं सानुजम् गान्धारीं पुत्रशोकार्तां पृथां कृष्णां च माधव सात्वयाम् आहस मुनिभिः हतबन्धून् शुच अर्पितान् भूतेषु कालस्य गतिं दर्शयन् न प्रतिक्रियां। श्रीदा प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण। अदथे संफरोद्रेतानां स्वानम् उदकम् इच्छतां तातुं सकृष्ण गंगायां पुरस्कृतयुषत्रिय ते नियोदकं सर्वे विलभ्यच्च वृतं पुनः आप्लुता हरिपादां च रजपूदसिरिज्जल तत्रासीनं गुरुपतिं धृतराष्ट्रं सजानुजं गान्धारीं पुत्रशोकार्तां वृतां कृष्णं च माधवः सान्तव्याम् आस मुनिभिर्हतबन्धून् सुसार्पितान् भूतेषु कालस्य गतिं दर्शयन् च प्रकृत्याम्। हरे कृष्ण।
पूनम माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। सूत उवाच अथ ते संपरेतानां स्वानम् उद्दिकम् इच्छितं दातुं सकृष्ण गंगायां पुरस्कृत्य ययुस्त्रिया ते निनियोदकं सर्वे विलप्य च भ्रष्म पुनः आप्लुता हरि पादब्ज रजः पुतसरिज्जले तत्रासीनं कुरुपतिं धृतराष्ट्रं सह अनुजं गान्धारीं पुत्रशोककर्तां प्रथां कृष्णां च माधवा सान्तव्यम् आस मुनिर्भिः हतबन्धुषु चार्पितान् भूतेषु कालस्य गतिं दर्शयन् प्रतिक्रियाम्।
दर्शयन् न प्रतिक्रियाम्। Anyone wants to read?
Yes, Mata.
पढ़िए प्रभु जी।
सूत उवाच अथ ते संपरेतानां स्वानाम् उदकम् इच्छतां दातुं सकृष्ण गंगायां
सकृष्णाः गंगायां
पुरस्कृत्य ययुस्त्रिया ते निनियोदकं सर्वे विलप्य च वृषं पुनः अप्लुत हरिपादब्जरज पूतसरिज्जले
वेरी नाइस।
तत्र सीनां कुरुपतिं धृतराष्ट्रां सहनुजां गान्धारीं पुत्रशोकार्तां पृथं कृष्णं च माधव सान्तवयम् असमुनिभिः हतबन्धून् शुचर्पितान् भूतेषु कालस्य गतिं। Cannot read below that.
दर्शयन् न प्रतिक्रियाम्।
दर्शन्य प्रतिक्रियाम्। Hare Krishna.
Darshayan. Hare
Darshaya.
Krishna. Anyone wants?
अथ ते
Anyone wants to read?
सूत उवाच सूत उवाच अथ ते सम्परेतानां स्वानुमुदकम् इच्छितां दातुं स कृष्णगङ्गायां पुरस्कृत्य युयुः स्त्रियः ते निनियोदकं सर्वे विलप्य च वृषं पुनः
Vilapya.
आप्लुता हरिपादाब्जरजः पूतसरिञ्जले तत्रासीनं कुरुपतिं
Sarijjale.
धृतराष्ट्रां सहानुजम् गान्धारीं पुत्रशोकार्तां पृथां कृष्णां च माधव सान्त्वयामास मुनिभिः
Awesome.
बन्धून् सुचार्तान् भूतेषु
Suchar.
कालस्य गतिं दर्शयन्न प्रतिक्रियाम् हरे कृष्ण
Hari Bol. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jaguru Prabhupada ki Jai. Swami said, thereafter the Pandavas were water to the dead relatives who had desired it, went to the Ganges with Draupadi. The ladies walked in front, having and sufficiently offered her bath in the Ganges, whose water is sanctified to the being mixed with of the lotus feet of the Lord. Sat the king of the Kurus, Maharaj Yudhishthir, along with his younger brothers and Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Kunti, and Draupadi, all overwhelmed with grief. Lord Krishna was also there. Citing the stringent laws of the Almighty and their reactions upon living being, Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa and the munis began to pacify those who
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. To date, it is custom in the Hindu society to go to the Ganges or any other sacred river to take bath when death occurs in the family. Each of the family members pours out a potful of the Ganges water for the departed soul and walks in a procession with the ladies in the front. The Pandavas also followed the rules more than 5,000 years ago. Lord Krishna, being a cousin of the Pandavas, was also amongst the family members. Hare Krishna.
the battle of Kurukshetra was fought between family members, and thus all affected persons were also family members, like Maharaj Yudhishthir and brothers, Kunti, Draupadi, Subhadra, Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, and her daughters-in-law, etc. All the principal dead bodies were in some way or other related each other, and therefore the family grief was combined. Lord Krishna was also one of them, as a cousin of the Pandavas and nephew of Kunti, as well as brother of Subhadra, etc. The Lord, therefore, was equally sympathetic toward all of them, and therefore he began to pacify them befittingly. The stringent of law of nature under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be altered by any living entity. The living entities are eternally under the subjugation of the Almighty Lord. The Lord makes all the laws and orders, and their these laws and orders are generally called dharma or religion. No one can create any religious formula. Bona fide religion is to abide by the orders of the Lord. The Lord's orders are clearly declared in the Bhagavad Gita. Everyone should follow him only or his orders, and that will make all happy, both materially and spiritually. As long as we are in the material world, our duty is to follow the orders of the Lord. And if by the grace of the Lord we are liberated from the clutches of the material world, then in our liberated stage also we can render transcendental loving service unto the Lord. in our material stage, we can see neither ourselves nor the Lord for want of spiritual vision. But when we are liberated from material affection and are situated in our original spiritual form, we can see both ourselves and the Lord face to face. Mukti means to be reinstated in one's original spiritual status after giving up the material conception of life. Therefore, human life is specifically meant for qualifying ourselves for the spiritual liberty. Unfortunately, under the influence of illusory material energy, we accept this spot life of only a few years as our permanent existence and thus become illusioned by passing go called country, home, land, children, wife, community, wealth, etc., which are false representations created by Maya illusion. And under the dictation of Maya, we fight with one another to protect this false possession. By cultivating spiritual knowledge, we can realize that we have nothing to do with all this material paraphernalia. Then at once we become free from material attachment. This clearance of the misgiving of material existence at once takes place by association with the Lord's devotees who are able to inject the transcendental sound into the depth of the bewildered heart and thus make one practically liberated from all lamentation and illusion. That is a summary of the pacifying measures for those affected by the reaction of stringent material laws exhibited in the form of birth, death, old age, and disease, which are insoluble factors of material existence. The victim of war, namely the family members of the Kurus, were lamenting the problem of death, and Lord pacified them on the basis of knowledge. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishwakanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarine Vancha Kalpatarubecha Krupa Sindhube Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Today we try to understand shloka number 1 to 4, and in these shlokas they describe about what they do after the antavidhi of their dead members of their family. What they do, what can we do? All these are here describing. Prabhuji will tell us in detail. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we are starting a new chapter, and we also have Gauranga Shakti Mataji here, who can definitely help us in understanding these important shlokas and especially the purport against these shlokas. So the setting is very clear. Ashwatthama has been punished appropriately, and now the whole of the Kuru dynasty is grief-stricken. whoever had been fighting the war, whether it be on the side of the Pandavas or on the side of the Duryodhana, finally they were all family members. So whatever deaths have happened, they have happened within the family. And Arjuna had rightly predicted so in the Bhagavad Gita itself, as one of the reasons why I would not like to fight, is it is going to lead to death amongst the relatives. So as is common in and customary, the grief period is being followed. It is but required that those who die, they need to be given water. And because they no longer have the body with which they can pacify their inner thirst, it's only the Ganga's water which can reach them. Now, Ganga has a lot of importance, we all know, because finally it is coming from the thumb of the lotus feet of the Lord. So it is said that it is sanctified due to being mixed with the dust of the lotus feet. And so, generally it is a custom that the grieving families do bath in the Ganges. And then they offer potful of waters as well. And if you are not able to go to the river Ganga, then any other sacred river is recommended, wherein the same rituals can be completed so that the dead relatives receive what is necessary. So here, when everyone was grieving, because all those who had died were related to each other. In fact, even Krishna was one of the relatives, being related with Kunti Maharani. So, even he was a part of the grieving family. But then, as is a custom, the one who is knowledgeable tries to sympathize with the grieving family and pacifies them befittingly. Now, Krishna is the originator, creator, and everything. The whole world belongs to him. The stringent laws of nature under which the death of the bodies have happened, they are all under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And since they are under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they cannot be altered by any living entity. The living entities, the souls, they're eternally under the subjugation of Krishna. So they are supposed to be serving Krishna one way or the other. Jivera Swarupa hai Nitera Krishna Dasa. So the Lord makes all the laws and orders, and the living beings, the souls, are supposed to be obeying them. These laws and orders which have been created from time immemorial are called generally the dharma or the religion. So if someone is to define religion, the definition of religion is to be the bona fide religion is to abide by the orders of the Lord, to act in such a way that the Lord is satisfied, because satisfaction of the Lord results in our ability to get out of the material entanglement. And that is why it is mentioned in the Shastras that as long as we are in the material world, we should be following the orders of the Lord. And if we are lucky, by the grace of the devotees, by the grace of the Guru, and the grace of the Lord, we can be liberated from the clutches of the material world. And then we can go back home, back to Godhead, where we can continue with our Nitya Seva to the Lord. Whenever we get liberated from this material affection, we can get situated in the original spiritual form, wherein we can see ourselves and the Lord face to face. So mukti, those people who talk about mukti and this thing and that thing, they need to understand that mukti is being reinstated in our original spiritual status after giving up material conception of life. Because right now we are completely illusioned by Maya. So we don't know what is our original constitutional position, the spiritual position. And because of that illusory potency, we are all considering the body as ourself. While actually, the body is just a covering, which the soul has got. So this human life, which the soul has got, is meant for qualifying ourselves for this spiritual liberty. Otherwise, by being Maya Das, we are going to be continuously in this bhautik world only. This material body may be there for few days, few weeks, few months, few years. We unfortunately consider it as permanent and become illusioned by various possessions, which are actually false representations created by. And then, under the dictation of Maya, we fight with one another to protect these false possessions. The fight starts right from ourself itself, wherein we don't want to age, but the body ages. And then the Maya dictates, and we do all kinds of things to ensure that the aging is not reflected. We feel our relatives are our relatives, and we try to lord over them, forgetting that it's only Krishna who can control and lord over everyone. The moment people understand this, there won't be any fights between brothers and brothers, sisters and sisters, brothers and sisters, parents and children, children and in-laws. All fights will vanish forever. So cultivation of the spiritual knowledge is very, very important. Because then we'll understand that we have nothing to do with this material paraphernalia. And the moment we understand this, we can be free from material attachments. So Prabhupada ji says that the clearance of the misgivings of material existence. So he's saying misgivings of material existence, this has to be cleared. And that can happen immediately when one takes association of the Lord's devotees. When we are able to inject the transcendental sound of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra into the depths of the builder heart. And when both these two come together, it can make one practically liberated from lamentation, from illusion. So the whole family out there was lamenting, grieving because of this illusion created by Maya. And Krishna, who is the original supreme personality and the Lord of the Maya, is pacifying them on the basis of this particular knowledge. Because Maya is finally subjugated to Krishna. So he knows the working of Maya, who is working under his instructions. Hare Krishna.